Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be chatting about what I bring on a wedding day. So I'm going to walk you through my camera gear to my styling kit and just little extra things that maybe you don't think that you need that you definitely need. So stay tuned and we'll get right into it. And for those of you that are new to my channel, I'm a fine art wedding photographer that shoots film and that shoots digital, and I'm based in Niagara and Toronto. I do also offer mentorships and workshops, so if you're interested in doing a mentor session with me, whether that's via Skype or in person, make sure to reach out and send me a message. I have a little February special going on, so you don't want to miss out. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to chat with you guys about is my camera bags. The first bag that I have is the O&A camera bags. I think I've had this for 5 years now and it's still in amazing condition. Actually, the older it gets, the better it looks in my opinion. So I love this bag. I think it was $500, but again, if you have it for 5 or 10 years, then it's totally worth it. So usually this goes on my shoulder or around me like that, and it's really handy during a ceremony because I can just flip this open and then I can have this open during a ceremony, switch out any lenses, make sure I have my batteries and my memory cards. So I definitely love this bag, and it fits quite a bit. I can fit a full medium format camera and my digital camera, and then sometimes I can even fit like a extra lens or a flash in there as well. So it definitely fits a lot. Holds all my batteries in these front pockets right here and my memory cards as well. Next, I have my Think Tank Airport Advantage bag. This is really nice because it does fit on the airplane overhead, so I don't have to worry about them wanting to check my bag because it's always going to be the right size. So that's important since I travel a lot. And in this bag, you can fit quite a bit of stuff. So it has lots of different compartments. Usually I can fit one camera here, another camera here, so whether that's film or just my digital camera, and then I can fit multiple lenses. I can fit my 85, my 24 to 70. I can fit 2 flashes in here, and then I'll have little extra spots for my batteries, for my chargers, that kind of thing. And then there's extra pockets up here as well, which is where I also hold more batteries and just little items that I don't want to lose. And then what's nice is that there's also this little compartment right here. And this is actually where I hold my clipboard. And so this clipboard is what I bring on a wedding day, which has my questionnaire that I've made my couples fill out like 6 weeks before the wedding day. So I have that printed, and then that way when we're going through the family photos, I know that we're not going to miss anything, and I have my second shooter cross them out as we go. And so that's really important for me to bring on a wedding day. And then I'll also bring inspiration in here as well. So that way I'm constantly staying inspired and trying new things. It's always good to print out new inspiration as well, so that way you're not always looking at the same things. And this clipboard is just one that I got from Staples. For a while, I only had the O&A shoulder bag and a backpack, which would carry all my flashes and everything. And I noticed how tired I would get on a wedding day, and overall just my back wasn't feeling the best after so many weddings. So switching to this roller bag has made a huge difference with traveling and with on a wedding day. It makes a really big difference to have something where you can roll along and not have to put on your back. Totally worth getting. Okay, so next we're gonna get into the flashes and all the camera gear, so stay with me here. We're getting to the good stuff now. I have 2 Canon 600EX RT speed lights. So this is what I've used for the last 5 years and I love them. They're really good. I have noticed that they've started slowing down, which is why I'm excited about Sony and the Godex or the Godex flash. Which is this round head flash, and it comes with its own rechargeable batteries, so you don't have to get the AA's anymore. And this lasts a whole wedding reception. When I was in Mexico, I used it for maybe 3 or 4 hours. It was quite a long time firing it off a lot as well, and the battery was still at like 100%. So I highly recommend getting one of these, and you can get them for your Canon as well. And then I have these two little video lights, which I bought off Amazon. I think they were like $30 or $40 each, and you do need double A's, about 6 of them, to power the flash. Now I'll make sure to link all of these things below as well, so you can check them out and get anything that you need. I love using video lights to add just a little bit extra light during the dances or during the cake cutting. Sometimes I find that you don't need a full flash, and the video light creates more of a softer, also romantic type of look. I don't mind that spotlight effect, and I think it looks really beautiful, especially with film. Make sure to check out my last video if you want to know more about flashes and video lights. Also, with those flashes, I bring this little guy which goes on stand, so that way I can set my flash off camera or my video lights off camera. And again, I bought this off Amazon at an amazing price. I think it was $20 or $30 for 2 of these, whereas at Henry's it costs that price for just 1 of them. So definitely worth getting off Amazon. I also bring a giant reflector on a wedding day, so I have a really large one that's like 6 feet tall, and then I have a smaller round one that's just like 3 feet wide maybe. I like to have options on a wedding day, and it's really nice having the 6-foot one that can stand on its own, and that way when I'm shooting in the morning or I'm shooting details, I can kind of stand it up against something and I don't need to have a stand holding it. So it's worth it to have the different sizes. It also works as like a large scrim, so it's like a diffuser. So if the window light is coming in too harsh, it's a really sunny day, then I can actually stand my 6-foot reflector right up against the window without the case, and then it's a diffuser, which is really, really nice, and it actually comes in handy. Okay, next we're gonna chat about which cameras I have. I still have the Canon 5D Mark III. I did have the 5D Mark IV for a while, but I just found that it wasn't as good as my Mark III. The colors were different, wasn't as sharp, even though I did some calibration on it. So overall, I just liked my Mark III a lot better. So I still shoot with this a bit just because it's comfortable, and I do love the viewfinder and just how easy it is to use, obviously since I've used it for so many years. But I also did pick up the Sony a7 III a few months ago, which has worked amazing in low light scenarios and for its speed and for its sharpness. So I definitely have been loving my Sony. So I plan on mixing my Sony and my Canon for now, just until I feel comfortable enough to stick with one system. And I'm also still deciding whether to switch completely over to Sony, because I know Canon will be coming out with new mirrorless bodies soon. So we'll see what happens there. And then I have my Contax 645, my favorite camera ever. I don't get to shoot it at a whole wedding day just because a lot of weddings here in Ontario, it's very dark and gloomy a lot of days, or the reception or the venues are indoors. But I do love shooting this for bride and groom portraits and for the details, and that is when I can use a tripod, and I make sure to bring my Manfrotto really nice heavy duty tripod on a wedding day too. And then just in terms of digital lenses, I do have a 50mm, an 85mm, and a 24 to 70mm, which is for my Sony. And if you want to know more about those lenses and why I use them, where I use them on a wedding day, then you can check out this video that I posted a few weeks ago. I also have these memory card cases, again, which I bought off Amazon. I'll link them below, and these come in really handy. This one has slots for CF cards and SD cards, but you can get ones where it's just for CF cards or where it's just for SD cards. And this one here, you can see that it's just for SD cards. So this keeps me nice and organized on a wedding day, and they are water resistant cases, which is really important to me because you never know what's going to happen on a wedding day. And if you're outside and it starts raining, you really want to make sure that you have something that's going to keep these cards safe from any sort of damage. Next, I have my Mamiya 645 with the 80mm 2.8. Now this is the AFD2, so it does have the back button focus, which is what I really like about this version. And it does have interchangeable backs, and it has autofocus. Now this camera is more digital feeling than my Contax, just because up here the settings and everything you can do digitally, but it's still a beautiful camera. I love it. I know that it's reliable, so it acts as a backup to my contacts. And then just bringing extra backs and inserts for my film camera. So these are for my contacts, just in case anything happens, or when I'm shooting a ceremony and if I want to have them already loaded, then having extra backs and inserts is really important. This is my film cooler bag, so it keeps all my film cool in the summertime. With film, you just want to be careful that you're not letting it get too hot or too humid, because it can ruin the film. I think that really comes down to extreme temperatures, because even when I was in Mexico, I never had one issue with any of my film rolls, and it was like really humid. I would go from my air-conditioned room outside and my camera would be sweating. So nothing has happened in regards to weather, but this is just for safety, for security. You never know with your film, so I like to take extra precautions and keep it nice and cool on a wedding day, especially when you're outside for 8 hours or so. I'll bring my Fuji, my Portra. I like to shoot Fuji 400 for most of the day, and then Portra 400 and Portra 800 are great when it gets a little bit darker. And then of course I love shooting Ilford 3200 black and white film for the getting ready portraits, and then some at the reception. It's a really beautiful film stock, and I find that I can't just recreate it by shooting color film and converting it. It really has something special about it that makes me want to shoot it just on its own, just black and white. Now, I'm not shooting full film at weddings, not even close. I would say maybe like 80% digital most of the time, and then 20% film. Some weddings I can shoot 5 to 10 rolls, other weddings I can shoot 10 to 20 rolls. It really depends on the venue, and of course if the wedding is outdoors. If the wedding is fully outdoors, then that makes it easy for me to shoot a lot of film, and that is my goal, is to move towards 80% film and 20% digital, just because I love the look of film and I love shooting it so much, and I find that I can't recreate it with digital. I also bring these aprons on a wedding day, so I'll kind of choose with my outfit which one suits it best. But most of the time I am just wearing a black jumper, so I do go for this black apron, which I bought off Amazon in a 2-pack, so I'll link that below. But yeah, it's really nice, ties up in the back, and then I have 3 pockets in the front here, which I can put my unexposed film in the middle that I want to shoot, and then I can put my exposed film in the 3rd pocket, so I kind of organize it in a way as I'm shooting to make it nice and easy. But this comes in handy even if you want to put a lens in your pouch, or put some memory cards or some batteries, or even just some pens. It really does come in handy just to have those extra pockets on a wedding day. This is the double camera strap that I use. I believe it's the Chestnut Moneymaker in a small. And I absolutely love it. Again, I think I've had it for 5 years or so, and it's still in amazing condition. And it comes in handy, so that way I can have my film camera on one side and then my digital camera on the other. And then sometimes, even if I only do have one camera on it, at least I know I can let that camera go and let it hang, and I don't have to worry about ever dropping anything, or just even having to hold on to something, because sometimes you have to move quickly or you have to go get something, so it's nice to just be able to let it fall back. And I can trust that my holdfast is keeping it secure. So I'll link these below as well. Also, just a little note, instead of buying a bunch of the Sony batteries, which are like $120, I found these Rave Power batteries off Amazon, and so it came with a pack of 2, and I think it was like $40 or $50, and they do work really well. So I used them at the wedding recently, and they do go down in power a little bit more than the Sonys, but for the price for 2 batteries is really amazing. So I highly recommend just picking up a few of these on a wedding day, and that way you have tons of batteries to work with. The light meter that I use, it's the Sekonic Flash Meter L358, which is the most common light meter that most film photographers use. I do have a 100mm macro lens, but I also have these macro filters, the Hoya macro filters, for my film cameras. So I think it comes with a +1, a +2, a +4, and these are great for detail shots, ring shots for my film camera. And then I think it is a 72mm thread size, so if you have the right lens it could work for your digital as well. So I bring these 2 hangers on the wedding day for the dress. 2 different options, this brass gold one, which a lot of my brides love, and then just a simple wooden one. I have a ton of these Locust collection boards, the velvet, the linen, the wool. I really love each one of them. I would recommend probably getting the linen ones to start out with, just because they look good with every wedding, especially the more neutral colors. They'll work for every wedding. But the velvet is great for editorials and for styled shoots. So I like having the different options to choose from on a wedding day. And it really depends on the couple's color palette and the stationery that they've chosen, and then that determines which board I'll use. I have a bunch of little styling trays like this, but I don't use these as often on a wedding day just because it really only suits a specific type of wedding and style, but it is nice to have just in case. And I usually find these at thrift stores. I have these little antique boxes, which I bought off eBay, and then some of them are from Etsy as well. I love that these are different than just having the regular Mrs. boxes, especially for the bride that is into more antique items. Then these are really great to have. And you can usually find them on eBay, really good prices if you search around and if you put in bids towards them. Sometimes I've gotten them for like $20 for a really nice one. So you do have to look out for a good deal. And then I have this wax seal as just another styling item. Just bought this one off Amazon, and also it's nice to have some wax seals as well to play with and to put on the stationery and to use flat lace. I have a ton of stamps that I bought off Amazon, and you can also get them off Etsy. Probably a little bit nicer off Etsy, but these were really cheap, so I just bought them to see what they would be like. But I think next time I'll buy them off Etsy. Little scissors that look really cute. Another Amazon find. And then I have these little flower frogs. These can be bought at Michael's or again off Amazon. They're really good for holding up flowers on their own. So you can grab a nice big flower and then just stick it on. And then that way when you're doing the flat lays, the flower will stand up straight and you don't have to worry about it moving or falling over. And then also if the wind comes, this is actually pretty heavy, so it will keep it held down. I did win a little giveaway from the Mrs. box, so I do have lots of different colors. I probably don't use half of these, but they are nice to have just in case there is a wedding that is more colorful or it kind of fits the color palette. Then it's nice having these options. And then I bought this ring box off of Etsy. I think it was maybe $50 or $60. But it's a nice oval shaped ring box, which is something that you don't see often, so it's kind of nice to mix it up. And then it's like a dove gray. These are little ring dishes that I bring, a little pottery dish. And of course I have lots of different ribbons, so I have some from Silk and Willow. These ones are really beautiful. They have a darker wooden spool. And then I have some from Poetry of Silk. These ones you can get the lighter colored spool, or you can get a darker colored spool as well. Different colors, beautiful hand-dyed ribbon. It looks great for flat lace. Now, if you don't know what a command hook is, it's amazing on a wedding day. There's sometimes when you show up to a bride's house or at a venue and there's literally nowhere to hang a dress except maybe on the window, which sometimes looks nice, but sometimes you lose all the detail and it's just a little bit overdone. So these command hooks are great because you can literally hang them up anywhere, on any wall. I think you just can't hang them up on wallpaper, but on any wall or brick or anything. And it's really easy to come off. You just follow the instructions on the box. Don't try to pull it off on your own strength, because I've definitely done that and I've ripped off some of the wall paint. So make sure that you do follow the instructions on the box because it is really easy. And yeah, you can stick these up anywhere. And then I think they hold up to like 5 pounds or so. So I've never had an issue with any of the wedding dresses that I've hung on these. They've all been light enough. So this is a great little addition to your styling kit, and I bought them off Amazon, so I'll link them below. Okay, lastly, I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff that I'll be adding to my styling kit, so I'm just letting you guys know what I have right now. And if you do have anything that I need to know about, make sure to share with me in the comments below also. So lastly, I bring these little acrylic styling blocks in different sizes. Again, these are off Amazon, and these are really nice for raising the flat lays. So rather than having everything just flat against the surface, you can choose different pieces to raise up, and you can choose how much you want to stack them by, or if you just want one underneath each piece or like two under one piece. You can get really creative with your flat lays by adding dimension. So these are really important for making beautiful flat lays. Okay, and then one little quick tip. I know a lot of us in the beginning, we want to make those beautiful flat lays, but we're lacking some details or we don't have enough flowers. So I really recommend reaching out to the florist directly, like a week or two before the wedding, and just sharing with them how you usually shoot details and how some extra loose florals would just make the details that much more beautiful, that much more special. This is where I usually link my Instagram and I link my website so they can get a feel for my work. And I let them know that they can keep these images, and I'll make sure to send them the full gallery afterwards. So typically after I've reached out and I've mentioned that I would like some loose florals, they have no problem bringing those on the wedding day for me. So then when I show up to shoot everything, the loose florals are already there. And they really add a lot to the images, and they tie in the overall wedding colors. So I really recommend reaching out to the florist from the wedding a week or two before. Okay, that's it guys. I hope this video was super helpful for you. I hope you got a feel for what I bring on a wedding day. If you have any questions, make sure to comment them below. And I would love to hear if there's anything special that you bring on a wedding day. Make sure to share that with me in the comments. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and turn that notification bell on so that way you'll see when I post my next video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.